Good morning, my name is Josh from CyclonesOZ, and I've got a detailed forecast update coming at you your way for Tropical Cyclone Fina, which is now a Category 2 and a serious threat to Darwin, and the severe thunderstorm outlook across Southeast Queensland and through New South Wales this week. Now, if you're wondering why my voice is a bit different, I'm not feeling the best right now, but I'm decided to get the cyclone update out as soon as I can. This is a serious threat to the Darwin area, and this storm here is continuing to intensify. In fact, this morning we're waking up and seeing an eye beginning to develop here on this tropical cyclone as it begins its southerly motion and it begins its final approach to a Northern Territory landfall, which is going to happen sometime tomorrow night. Now, for Darwin, the key message right now is to begin preparations today and make sure that your preparations are done by tomorrow night. Conditions around this tropical cyclone, albeit it is a small system, but conditions are going to deteriorate quite quickly on Friday night into Saturday morning. And even though that landfall is not expected, or that close past the Darwin area is not expected until later on Saturday, we're going to be looking at this tropical cyclone coming ashore, or its conditions coming ashore, a lot sooner than that, probably by Saturday morning. So you want to be ready by Friday night. Anyways, looking at this system right now, it is damn impressive. I'm surprised at how strong this system is and how well it is performing. We thought that we would have a bit of a dry air intrusion this morning. There's a lot of dry air down here through the northern parts of the Northern Territory. In fact, dew points in Darwin are resembling those of about mid-August or early September. They're really not tropical dew points at all, and that's that humidity in the environment. It's completely gone across the top end of the Northern Territory because it is being sucked up from the south with this developing tropical cyclone here, and we thought that that would be wrapped up into the storm center this morning, and this storm would be really struggling to produce some significant convection or thunderstorm activity around its center, but that really isn't the case. And as you saw at the start of the video, it's now beginning to develop a proper eye feature on the radar imagery. In fact, you can really see it on the later satellite frames. It's looking extremely healthy, that's for sure. This is a really solid system now in the making. A defined eye and a pretty potent eye wall as well. Both the Warrawai and the Darwin radars are not the most powerful radars Australia has to offer, so for them to be penetrating this far into the tropical cyclone and seeing a very defined eye wall is quite concerning. This is obviously quite a strong tropical cyclone at this point in time. Now, as the coming couple of hours roll through, we're expecting this tropical cyclone to continue its jog towards the south before it begins to jog towards the southwest later tonight into early tomorrow morning. This system is appearing to strengthen, and it's likely to continue strengthening throughout the remainder of today, and I don't think dry air is going to become a problem for this tropical cyclone for at least another 12 hours. And if it doesn't become a problem for this tropical cyclone full stop, we will be looking at a severe tropical cyclone landfall sometime tomorrow night on the top end of the Northern Territory here, about 150 kilometres towards the northwest of Warrawai, up here in extreme remote parts of the Northern Territory. A lot of Indigenous communities in this part of the Northern Territory, and they will be badly impacted by a tropical cyclone in this magnitude. And I'm seeing a lot of new followers and a lot of new comments from these Indigenous communities up in this part of the Northern Territory, so a lot of them are beginning to come online, but we've still got a very big kind of gap in terms of connectivity up here. A lot of these people don't know what they're expecting, and they kind of just gauge the weather by looking out of their window. So getting this information out to these Indigenous communities is paramount, and it's very good to see them all come online, but at this point in time, there's a lot of them that are still being kept in the dark, and this tropical cyclone is now less than 48 hours away from these places. In fact, it's only about 36 hours away from a direct landfall on the Northern Territory, and with the current appearance of this tropical cyclone continuing to strengthen in the way that it is quite a concern for this part of the Northern Territory. Already, cyclone warnings have been raised towards the northwest of Warrawai, including parts of the Tiwi Islands as well, for a tropical cyclone impact and for gale force winds within the next 24 hours. And then we've got that cyclone watch as well extending over towards Darwin, which aren't under that tropical cyclone watch just yet, but that's very likely to change later this afternoon, and that means we're going to be placed under these cyclone alerts, which means Darwin need to rush their preparations to completion, and that is going to be the message that we're going to be getting later tonight. Now, this tropical cyclone is then expected to move south of the Tiwi Islands and just north of Darwin, likely making a second landfall out here towards the northeast of Darwin, only about 50 kilometres away from the Darwin area early on Saturday afternoon, about 1 or 2 o'clock at least on this forecast here. And compared to other forecast models as well, where the forecast is now becoming a little bit more congruent, all major forecast models are kind of calling for the same landfall location and a pretty similar timing as well. In fact, you can see the GFS forecast model over here, the Eastern Web forecast model over here, the Icon model here, and the Access model here. They're all within this kind of margin of error here. Very, very small margins of error now compared to what we were looking at in the last couple of days with this tropical cyclone. And I imagine that's going to get ironed out over the next couple of hours as well. So for Darwin, it's now looking extremely likely you're going to be seeing a tropical cyclone impact, and the forecast that I've been giving for the last 2 or so days now for the Darwin area still stands. Expect Category 2 strength tropical cyclone winds to develop from early Saturday morning, and they will continue through Saturday afternoon and into Saturday evening before this tropical cyclone finally pulls away on early Sunday morning out into the Arafura Sea and then eventually into the Joseph Bonaparte Gulf. Still as a slow-moving tropical cyclone, but we're going to be seeing conditions ease off through Sunday, and by Sunday afternoon we should be below tropical cyclone thresholds wind speed wise into the Darwin City area. Now, in terms of the strongest sustained winds, these forecast models can be pretty hit or miss in terms of how accurate they are for sustained wind speeds, and I believe that this time is a pretty good example of a miss. I believe winds are going to exceed 90 kilometers an hour into the Darwin area, and we're going to be talking about wind speeds here sustained between 100 out to about 125 kilometers an hour into the Darwin City area, with wind gusts as strong as 145 kilometers an hour through the Darwin City area. And that is based off if this tropical cyclone does not make it to severe tropical cyclone status. If it gets up to severe cyclone status and makes a landfall on the Northern Territory, which is now looking like an actual solid possibility considering the impressiveness of this storm satellite appearance, then we could be talking about some pretty serious wind gusts into the Darwin area approaching 155 or even up towards 160 kilometers an hour. And once we start getting up above 150 kilometers an hour, winds really do start to become a problem here from tropical cyclones. I believe the strongest wind gusts into the Darwin area were between 120 to 150 kilometers an hour, and Cyclone Marcus was a massive damage causer on the wind side of things. And you've heard me throw the name out, Cyclone Marcus, over the last couple of days. It definitely looks like this is going to be a fair comparison wind speed wise. This tropical cyclone is going to be pretty much as bad as Tropical Cyclone Marcus was on the wind front. Now, it's still a little bit too early to tell exactly what we're expecting with storm surge, but I expect maximum storm surge heights to be around the high tide mark into the Darwin area Saturday night into Sunday morning. And if you live in a flood-prone area with waters expected to rise up to 2 meters above the highest astronomical tide in a few spots on the Tiwi Islands and into the Darwin City area, it's a good idea to prepare sandbags in case of flooding. And on the flooding side of things, rainfall is also expected to be a massive problem from this tropical cyclone. 4-day rainfall accumulations from now out to the end of this weekend are expected to be very, very significant, particularly around the landfall site. We could be talking about falls between 300 to 500 millimeters and scattered rainfall accumulations to 600 millimeters now showing up on reputable forecast models. And then as it moves back out over into the ocean here, just towards the north of Darwin, some very significant rainfall accumulations can be expected onto the back side of the system here and also onto the southern side by the looks of things, including for the Darwin City area. And in fact, if we have a look at some of these rainfall accumulation numbers, of which I would say take with a pinch of salt, we're seeing numbers here that are extraordinary, for lack of a better term, especially for November. This would absolutely topple November rainfall records across this part of the Northern Territory. 800 millimeters would cause some very serious flooding through parts of the Northern Territory. 600 millimeters for Darwin would obliterate the all-time November record of about 380 millimeters, so very, very concerning at this point in time if this rainfall does fall or does occur. Now, other forecast models do have slightly more conservative rainfall accumulations on the estimates here, but we're still talking about a swathe of rainfall here between 300 to 500 millimeters around the Darwin City area, and that also includes parts of the Tiwi Islands and then through the Adelaide River and a couple of other of the catchments that flow into the Adelaide region and also into the Darwin region as well. So all of the rivers in this area, we can be expecting minor flooding at an absolute baseline, and already flood watches have been raised. Moderate flooding is a high likelihood, and major flooding is also now a possibility, and we're likely to see the worst November flooding on record for this part of the Northern Territory. In fact, for Darwin, I believe the all-time daily rainfall record for November is about 150 millimeters, and that is likely to be absolutely obliterated by this tropical cyclone's passage. This is a very wet system. Not only is it slow moving, but it's also throwing out an extraordinary amount of convection, which is that thunderstorm activity. That eye is very defined as well, and you can see a lot of rain around this system's inner core, and it is moving slowly. Like I said, it's still about 36 hours away from landfall, but it is really close to the Northern Territory coastline, only about 200 kilometers away, about 350 kilometers away from the Darwin City area itself. So this tropical cyclone here, small, compact, but very, very wet. And just to end things off in terms of a comparison to Tropical Cyclone Tracy, nowhere near. Tropical Cyclone Tracy was so much stronger, so much more powerful, and so much more destructive than what Tropical Cyclone Fina is going to be. It is an order of a magnitude more significant Tropical Cyclone Tracy was, and Fina is unlikely to be, or very unlikely to be, anything of the magnitude that Tropical Cyclone Tracy was back in 1974 on Christmas Eve. Now, for Darwin, you need to make sure your preparations are done, preferably today, but by lunchtime tomorrow is also fine. I'm seeing a lot of panic buying into some of the stores around the Darwin area, and I imagine that is just what you expect in a tropical cyclone, but take what you need, nothing more in a situation like this. Just make sure that you've got plenty of water for your family, fill up a bathtub, make sure you've got some cash on hand as well. You're very likely to lose power in an event like this, and just make sure that you are ready for Tropical Cyclone Fina's wrath. You can find more information on the Emergency Services website as well in terms of what you need to be doing to prepare your home and property adequately for a tropical cyclone, and who you need to be notifying and who you need to make sure is safe with you in an event like this. If it's your first tropical cyclone, do not panic. This is a pretty good warm-up. It's a strong tropical cyclone. It will be a bumpy one, but it's also not going to be a widespread disaster. So just make sure that you are staying safe and staying in the know and in the loop with a tropical cyclone like this. Tropical Cyclone Fina is going to be strong, but it's not going to be an all-out disaster. So please stay calm, stay safe, and stay informed with Tropical Cyclone Tracy. Now, just moving down in towards southeastern Queensland, we're expecting the start of a thunderstorm outbreak to begin later this afternoon into parts of central Queensland and also through parts of central New South Wales. A few thunderstorms are expected to develop into parts of the northern or central western parts of New South Wales into the north around Moree and out towards Lightning Ridge. And a few thunderstorms are also expected around the Roma area, moving up towards Tambo and out towards Charleville. We'll also be seeing a couple of thunderstorms here and there along the mid-north coast and then into the northeast slopes of New South Wales as well. Nothing is expected into the Sydney area by the looks of things, and nothing is also expected into the Brisbane area either. A few thunderstorms are then going to be possible over the scenic rim and around the border ranges, and then out towards Warwick and Toowoomba, or south of Toowoomba down towards Goondiwindi on Friday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon through Queensland rather. Brisbane and the Gold Coast again looking likely to miss out on these thunderstorms, but we may be seeing some good rainfall into parts of the scenic rim and around the border ranges in the wake of some very severe thunderstorms that we saw last weekend. Some pretty significant thunderstorm activities are also expected into this part of New South Wales here, and we may be seeing some severe thunderstorms developing around Tamworth and Dubbo. Some really good thunderstorm fuel is going to be in the environment for those thunderstorms out there, and some stronger stuff is expected. 1 or 2 thunderstorms also expected outside of Harvey Bay north of Gympie, and 1 or 2 thunderstorms also possible outside of Roma on a Friday afternoon as well for Queensland. Now, Saturday, thunderstorms, showers and severe storms are expected out towards central New South Wales, particularly around the Parkes, Dubbo and Orange area. We're expecting some pretty strong thunderstorm activity out in this part of New South Wales, and potentially a few pulse thunderstorms as well developing between Roma and Charleville in a pretty similar area to what we've been seeing over the last couple of days as well. In fact, this area is going to be really, really busy in the next 3 or 4 days through this part of Queensland. 1 or 2 thunderstorms is also possible around parts of the Lockyer Valley area and then up in towards the Sunshine Coast and the Burnett region, but I don't expect anything too crazy to develop in towards Queensland on Saturday either. And then pushing things out towards Sunday, the severe thunderstorm risk increases once again for New South Wales and also parts of south central Queensland around St George and Thallon. We may be seeing some strong thunderstorms here and some potentially severe or even dangerous thunderstorms possible into parts of the Hunter region and then into the areas adjacent to the mid-north coast inland through the Barrington Tops and then around Tamworth. Large hail, maybe even some giant hail is also going to be possible, and 1 or 2 strong thunderstorms also going to be possible around the Warwick area on Sunday rather. Pushing things out towards Monday, we've got some pretty incredible convective available potential energy values surging into parts of Queensland, and this is going to combine to create some pretty solid fuel for some severe thunderstorms on Monday. And Monday is a day that I've been watching for the last couple of days. It's definitely one that I'm going to be putting on the back burner, whilst we may have a pretty good amount of dry air in the environment, and that definitely looks to be the case through Monday afternoon through this part of Queensland. If we do get thunderstorms off the ground, albeit with extremely strong capping, it's going to resemble more of a late September, early October big heat setup across southeast Queensland, so we may be seeing some strong thunderstorms, but they'll be very isolated in nature and likely very few and far between as well. But if they can get off the ground, they could get quite strong indeed. It's not the best conditions for thunderstorms, but with the amount of instability, it is not impossible. Very, very warm day expected on Monday, 46 out in Badora in Western Queensland, and this 40-degree temperature heat is going to extend through Western Queensland and then in towards Central Queensland, and that's what's going to be sparking that thunderstorm activity on Monday. Tuesday, we get a bit of a hiatus from thunderstorm activity. Wednesday, it returns through parts of the Capricornia coastline in a bit of a more rain-making way, and we're going to be seeing thunderstorms dotting the Queensland coastline through Thursday and Friday as well. A couple more days break, and then rainfall and thunderstorms appear to increase once again through the first week of December, but details on that still rather murky at this point in time. And my voice is about to pack it in, so I'm going to leave this forecast update here. If you have enjoyed this video update, then please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I apologise for the shoddy narration this morning. It's a bit of a struggle to speak, and I hope that it does improve for my second update later today, but no promises. But that is going to do it for me today. Of course, a massive thank you to the channel sponsors. Their names are on screen right now. I could not run the show without them, and as always, their support is massively appreciated. But that is going to do it for me today. Have a great day and stay safe if you're up in the Northern Territory. Catch you on the next storm. Goodbye.